Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Always Believer. Oh, my goodness gracious. I feel like this has been forever and a day. We're back with Motivational Mondays. This is our first episode of season 2. So by now, hopefully you've heard the introduction episode that we did and also what's coming up next or you've also seen our social media, of course, thankfully IG, because we have the beautiful Cassandra again with us. Hi, Cassandra.
Good morning, Ariadna. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. I've missed this. I was
I'm so
recording
excited
with
to be back.
you.
I'm so excited. I love recording these. It's just so much fun.
It is. And we get to talk so much about like so many goodies. And our relationship is already based on that basically, because we just talk a lot of, deep philosophical stuff. And physiological. I still don't know how to speak, a year later. But psychological, I mean. But yeah, so we're back with Motivational Mondays for all you newcomers for season 2. Go back, check out season 1 that we had a whole bunch. These are 20 minutes. We're just going to have a quote of the day. We're going to talk about the quote. We're going to have some tips along the way and just have fun and relax, right?
Right. Just
So,
relax.
so what's today's quote, Cassandra?
Well, since we're coming right back into Motivational Monday, we want to kind of test your comfort zone and get you a little bit, feeling like, oh, am I getting too comfortable? So this quote is, most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and hit. And this is by Les Brown. And it just is like, hey, this is a check. Are you doing everything that you've been dreaming of? Like, what is your biggest dream? And how are you reaching out? And how are you making some of those dreams a reality?
Exactly. What I love about this quote is that what you said basically just makes you get out of your comfort zone 110%. And that's something that's so useful, something that's so needed to do on a constant basis, especially after the year that we just had, that we got a little too comfortable and a little too crazy, cooped up inside. And we're like, I don't know, random examples. Like we're always home, of course, with the leggings and the sweatshirt. That's fine. That's okay. That's all nice and comfortable. But we got to remember that, in order to get goals done, in order to move forward, we got to step out of the comfort zone. And I feel like that's the tip number 1, basically.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Jackie's interview will have come out by this point, but when I sat down and talked to her, she was telling me how she was traveling and she was at a resort and doing a life mapping where you just kind of write down all of the things and like where you want your life to progress for your future, and basically left that session like, I need to quit my job today. Like I need to do what inspires me the most, which is, start our own consulting firm and help people and helping people. And like, she's doing very well with that. And, it's always so fearful when you take away job security, I
Oh
would say.
yes, yes.
That's
You
the
reminded
biggest
me.
thing.
You reminded me, which is actually links really well to the next tip. You remind me of seeing of Friends, because I'm a huge Friends lover, kind of hashtag who isn't. And it was when Rachel, early in the first seasons, she's been in the dining job in the Central Park job for like 2 years already, and she wanted to really be a designer and like work for Ralph Lauren and things like that, right? And Chandler goes up to her and goes, "You got to get the fear. You don't have the fear. You got to quit your job and get the fear." And there's the whole scene, and I pinpoint that scene so many times, not only for quitting your job, but for like so many different things, because once again, that's one of the next tips, is finding the strength to move past the fear.
And what you'll always find, or I would say, I won't say always, but a lot of the times you'll find that when you take that step, your life only becomes more fruitful because you move in a direction that your soul wants you to go in, and you're focused on something that actually makes you really happy. And some people have to have a job, if you have children, if you have a family, if you need to support all of those things. But if you're confident enough in yourself, then what are the things that hold you back? Maybe writing down some of those things and like, how do you mitigate some of the risks? because it's such a big idea, like to leave a job. But what if you have other things in place, like smaller steps that, maybe you can have some income, like passive income from this thing, and maybe you can do this other thing that helps you maintain at a specific level. And it takes a lot of looking at that. But if you really are just wanting to do something, basically what's holding you back, and how do you move forward to like succeed in doing that?
Completely, completely, completely agree, and so, so true. Because I feel like also we get a little bit caught up of like quote unquote the life we have to have or we should have. It's like, oh, we need to be married or we need to have like a mortgage or we need to have a house and blah 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 blah. No. You need to do things that make you happy. And it's not to quote, oh my God, you only live once. No, I guess maybe as well, but just simply state, the happier you are with everything you're doing in your life, the more, like you said, the more confident, the more you're able to grow, the more you glow, and the more you help not only yourself, but society. Because at the end of the day, if you're stuck behind a desk, whether it's a secretary or IT or anything else in between, and you're not happy, people around you are going to be like, oh, don't talk to her. Like, oh, be careful with him because he's just always moody. I'm like, why don't you just change it up? So like what you were saying about Jackie, of course, from Inspire Consulting, that brain map thing that I've also done as well. Like you have to start doing those kind of things to see what else you have going on in your life that you actually love to do. And this can go from creating TikToks, because of course, to teaching kids a different language, or because you're really good at math and you're like, oh my God, like, why don't I help these third graders? Because why not? This actually makes me really happy. To walking animals, walking other people's pets. Maybe you love animals so much and you always wanted to work something with animals, but that's a good way to, start doing it. And so on and so forth, of course.
And to aim low and hit, I mean, that to me just says complacency.
Yeah,
Like that
completely.
you are just in your job, you come home every day, you sit down on the couch, you have wine or beer and you watch shows, and or you don't drink, but I mean, there's got to be like, what are you going to push? What's the hustle? What are you doing on the side that takes you to that next level? Like what is your,
Fires you up.
yeah,
What
what
brings you
inspires you?
joy?
Like, what are you aiming for that is so high that, people can't even see it? People can't see it
And I
because they're
feel
not even looking.
I know, and I feel like when what you were saying, because they aim too low and hit, it's just once again you get stuck in the comfort zone. But these are people who are like, I want to call them asleep. And anyone who knows spirituality and anyone who reads Eckhart Tolle and so on and so forth, things like that, completely understand where I'm coming from. They're very mundane. They're very, gonna go to work 9 to 5, pick up the kids, blah blah blah. I'm like, where's the excitement in that? I hope once again, hopefully, we see some difference with the youth today. They're a little bit less compliant and they're like, no, I want to do what makes me happy and I'm just going to go for it. And hopefully that sticks. So when they become adults and they would become older generation, so on and so forth, they can teach the future to be a little bit more happier at the end of the day. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's your happiness, is how you choose to live your life. That it's one of the things. I also read this like this morning, like what happens if you wake up tomorrow and it's all gone. And the post was all about social media and like, oh, get a mailing list and things like that. But at the same time you're like, oh, what happens if like, you only have today to live? Long story short, do things that make you happy with a plan, which I feel like that's one of our other tips, to write those goals down, break them down weekly, monthly, whatever you can to make sure that you make those dreams come true.
Plus, maybe you're very happy with the job you have and basically the trajectory of your life, but how do you add value? That can be, as easy as working at the soup kitchen or contributing with a charity or an NGO or some organization where you actually meet a whole new community of people that are different from you and you just get to interact but like help lives. And this is like where we bring in kind of a question. We're trying to think about different questions of these motivational Mondays, and the question that Ariadna and I came up with is, what is something you can do today that will get you closer to your goals? Even if it's something very small, like what if it's just joining a meetup group, or, just getting out of your comfort zone to meet a stranger? What if you just want to basically help at the um, down at the park, like if you're going past the park and there's a lot of people that hang out there that probably maybe don't have like a big house to go back to, like just having a conversation with them. I mean, it starts really simple, but then there's also like, what am I doing that I can add value from where I am right now in my job? Like, what certification could I get that then leads me to a whole nother side of people, and like meeting new people, or helping myself and helping my family and my friends. Like one of the things is have considered getting a financial advisor certificate, not to become a financial advisor, but just so I can help myself and my family and friends, so that I don't have to have anyone else do that for me.
That is wicked cool. That's an awesome goal right there. I would definitely figure out something to do something of the sort, because I feel like financial help and stability and like knowledge of how it works is such a great tool that should be taught in schools, but that's a whole different subject right there. And it's definitely something you need to inspire to, without a doubt. I definitely love that goal of yours. As for me, oh my goodness gracious. I think it starts with something as small as connecting with people. Um, I run the Always Believer. I run two other podcasts aside from the Always Believer, and two other businesses. And it's just knocking on the doors. I think every day I do that, and I push myself and I make sure that, I get my name out there, but at the same time, like I try to get like the most interesting stories, and not because like they're the most intricate or they've gone through so much like fire. No, it's like these are the people who I really want to hype up as well. And that's something definitely I do every day to make like to go closer to my goal, to make sure the Always Believer in this particular case community grows, and you get to see so many different variety of people, not only through our podcast but like through our feed and things like that I want to promote and whatnot. And then more on a personal note, no, definitely working out, definitely getting me time. I do little things like either I play more time with my cat. For example, I make sure I play with him a whole bunch. I mean, he's very playful and very cuddly, so it's kind of easy. But you kind of make sure that you connect, because you don't take him or anybody for granted. To playing Animal Crossing on my Switch, me time, basically, I'm trying to say. So I think that's just like little goals, little by little, and it makes me happier. So whenever I do my job, I'm like, oh, I'm happier because I'm not working 24/7. I'm actually, taking some time for myself, which is good.
Oh yeah, and taking time for yourself is always a plus. I mean, in Finland, they take saunas very seriously, and that's like a time to meditate and sit inside of a very hot box and let all that,
Oh, it
kind
feels
of
so
like the
great.
steam.
I miss it. I used to go, of course, before COVID. That's been about a year by now, a little over, to the gym, obviously, and there was a sauna, and I was in love with that, because it's just like you let everything go. So
Right.
now what we do, of course, is of course meditate, but I love yoga, but like really deep breath yoga. So like you really let it go. And yeah, definitely. You
That,
gotta aim high. You gotta aim
yeah.
high for yourself. You gotta set some really good standards for yourself, because you are freaking worth it.
And maybe a spa fun. Maybe you need a full day at a spa, like to rejuvenate, get a massage, uh, sip champagne, just enjoy that calm, relaxing environment. People don't, I think sometimes you don't realize like just how calming that can be and just how good you can feel. Because I feel like I don't take care of myself as much as I should. And that's like one of the things that I focus on. I've been focusing on all natural oils for my face now, and not wearing as much makeup, and just trying to get, stay young, stay rejuvenated, all of those types of things. But yeah, I definitely think that, like when you are where you are in your life, you can be like, you can find acceptance in that level. But then there's always like, no matter where you are in your life, I guess, there's always that next level that you could be striving for. So you always want to be at the level where you're just always really a little bit uncomfortable, because okay, you can be in the job at work, but like in order to ask for a raise and make it happen, you have to be uncomfortable enough to walk in and tell your boss, this is all of the things that I do and I deserve more money. So give it to
Like,
So like you got to get out of your comfort zone if you're going to do
yeah.
that. But maybe today's the day. Maybe you helped with the revamping of your office because of COVID, or you have to do all these extra things because you work virtually. Maybe it's time, like, keep a log, have those statistics, get in there and tell your boss, these are all the values that I'm adding. Like, I'm always adding value. This is why I deserve a raise.
Know your worth and take your wins. That's definitely something that I've been working on recently since the past year, more or less. But definitely since the last time we recorded, like I've been doing a lot of inner work, and it's that like taking the wins and celebrating yourself. And I feel like that's another way of like aiming high, because you gotta take that time to yourself, be like, yo, I did that. Like I okay, like that's freaking amazing, and that's the goal that I achieved. And of course we're going to keep moving forward, because that's the beauty of life, obviously. But like we said, like definitely take the win and stand up for yourself, because you are worthy beyond words.
Right.
So
So that's why you got to stay at that level, stay right there where you're just like a little bit uncomfortable. And if someone offers for you to be the speaker at your work and you're not a good public speaker, hey, say yes and then get to it. You got to, Toastmasters, you can sign up with them and get good at public speaking, and then show people that you can always be adding value to the team.
oh, that's something wonderful, much like the financing you said before. Also speaking in public, because even with me, that I do a lot of things in public, but I can always work on it a lot more and just feel a lot more confident. So yeah, definitely. Let's repeat the quote one more time for our lovely listeners.
Most people fail in life because they aim too high and miss, but not but because they aim.
All good. We have those moments. Most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and
Oh yeah,
hit.
I felt like there was a missing word there, so I was like, oh my gosh.
It's kind of a tongue twister. Thank you, Les Brown, for that. And especially because like I speak more positively, so I would have worded that differently. But yeah, I totally get it. But you could tell us the question so that we can remind the question, so you can let us know on social media in today's post. What's today's question?
The question is, what is something that you can do today that will get you closer to your goals?
Exactly. So please let us know down below. Please enjoy the next episode. We have Go to Flower Wednesdays. We have Cassandra officially as a co-host, so you're going to be hearing a lot from her this season, and we're super thrilled. And then I'm also going to make a few special appearances here and there. So stay tuned for that, and see you next week for another Motivational Monday.
Stay tuned.
Bye, guys. Bye, Team Flyer.
Bye.